is 524. We started with 24 cars, and what that means is that there are 8 presently on the outside looking in case, including that blue one sitting over there with a big old Ross Environmental sticker on the door. So you want to talk about pressure? Welcome to the pressure cooker. So Doug Cottrell, and Doug was unable to make a run yesterday. So as a result of that, he is not in the program. Doug Cottrell is not in the program. Well, and he is not going to be in the program. Oh, well, 482 at 121 miles an hour. Cottrell is in number 13. That's not going to stand.
Bill, I don't think so either. And now it's down to a 5:08 to get in, and
Yep.
Here comes more pressure.
Yep, in the form of arguably one of the hottest cars in the category, Smithtown, New York. It is the Ross Environmental Services entry of Johnny Plascino. Plascino yesterday rattled the tires mightily and qualified with a 998 at only 43 miles an hour. And a similar situation for Alan Drinkwater. He is on the outside looking in as well. Both of these Mustangs need to run quicker than 5:08. And Ron, they're both capable of doing so.
Absolutely, Bill. 830 cubic inches each on either side of that track. Kassi motor on the Ohio Peterbilt side. And I'm pretty sure there's one of those in
Well, it's got a Kazi sticker on it. It's just a Hemi motor.
That's a pretty solid guess, I'd assume. You don't put the sticker on there for decoration.
No. So, both cars needing to run quicker than 5:08 with a 9 in order to make the program. 2 pre-stage faults. It's hero or zero. Get in or go home. And they're both getting in. Plascino doing Plascino things. 4:12, 173 miles an hour. Plascino moves into the number 4 spot. Drinkwater moves up to number 5. And now all of a sudden it's gotten very warm for Sylvester Barnes, who owns the 495 you see on the scoreboard, Ron Huntley.
Yeah, and Sylvester, by the way, if you remember yesterday, Billy, it took him about a quarter of a mile to go an eighth of a mile.
Yes, it did.
He did not take the most direct direction.
Yeah, so Plascino number 4, Drinkwater number 5. And here's a couple more unqualified cars trying to get in. Summit Lane, this is Mike Coughlin. No newcomer to this racetrack, no newcomer to being behind the wheel. This is Camry Caruso's hot rod. And Coughlin qualified yesterday 961 with a 3 at 61 miles an hour. And Jordan Enslin from Lakeland, Florida, qualified number 21 in the program. And of course, Mike Coughlin is filling in for Alan Johnson, who is already filling in for a pregnant Camry Caruso. So, boy, so he's third man up.
Where am I on the list? That's what I want to know.
Well, hey, just so you know, that's a pretty strong third man. It's not like they went bottom barrel scraping to find Mike Coughlin. He's pretty stout.
Yeah, Mike's won a few races over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim Yates and the crew chief on this car, Adrian Long, the car chief. And in the Summit Lane for Jordan Enslin, that's the Bennett's Donkey Farm sponsored Mustang. I'm still not believing it, but here we go.
I need pictures.
Oh, Mikey way out of the groove. 4:14, dancing on a tightrope. Coughlin, number 9. And Jordan Enslin, 4:18, moves up to number 12.
Look at the bump now, Bill.
And now the bump is, when those scoreboards clear, 4:29. And things are getting real here in Q2, and that's why we wanted to try to get this round run.
Yep, Al Davidowski right now, 4:29 with an 8 is, that's where your hopes and dreams lie, kids. And here's a couple of more guys. Bill, they're not in yet.
They're not in either, but I want to go back to the driving job for Mike Coughlin. When you go to the Flow replay, he was way, way, way up against that retaining wall in the Summit lane, but that's why you put a guy with that kind of experience behind the wheel, because Mike Coughlin knows how to win. Next pair at the starting line. Neither car qualified. This is number 23, entry of Dwayne Rice from Grove City, Ohio. The Excalibur Racing Engines 2022 Camaro alongside...
That'd be Corey Voss, Live Oak, Florida. Corey, coming up in the yellow hot rods, Voss wheelie bars, Voss Racing Engines, as well as Liquid Molly and Wright Trailers helping him out. Folks, we saw a whole lot of the side of this car yesterday when he went down the racetrack.
Oh yeah, we saw a lot of sides of that car.
That one danced around quite a bit. Little adjustments, I do imagine, needed to be made, and let's see if we can get it down the track.
So, Dwayne Rice and Corey Voss, they're both in. 4:13 for Dwayne Rice. And 4:14 for Voss. Dwayne goes to number 5. Corey Voss goes to number 8, and man, oh man.
It just keeps moving down, baby.
It just keeps tightening up. We are 2 cars away from a 14 qualified bump spot, and what that means is 4.1 something.
Bill, look at the range between, if you get back here, look at the range between, so we start with the number 5, Dwayne Rice, 4:13.7. And just over 100th later, number 12, Lenny Loddick. Folks, it is wrapped tight.
It sure is. And here is the unqualified New York native, the owner of Montecalvo Paving. This is John Montecalvo, the 2009 IHRA Pro Stock World Champion. Then he was the ADRL champ in 2010. He was the PDRA champ in 2019. This guy has been racing for a long time. He won the World Nationals 26 years ago at this very racetrack. That is John Montecalvo.
Yep, he's up against Jason Grimma, Agnes Banks, Australia, New South Wales. Quite the tow, I'd say.
He gets the long distance award.
The 3V Performance and Pickle sponsored ride, folks. This was the first Mountain Motor Pro Stock in the 3s. So you think both these guys are capable of putting up massive numbers right now?
Well, they're both getting in the show. It's just a matter of where. Montecalvo, not a good run yesterday. Same thing for Jason Grimma. They got to run quicker than 4:25. I predict a teen on both sides of the ledger. And Grimma out in front. 4:09. I predicted a teen. I didn't predict an O. And Grimma, number 2 qualifier. Montecalvo, 4:13 with a 7. Good for the number 6 qualifying spot. And just like that, Ron Huntley, the bump is Jordan Enslin's 4:18.2.
And I don't feel like that's safe, Bill.
It's not even close to being safe because neither one of these cars are qualified.
That's the crazy thing, Bill. Every time we've had a pair come up, they're not qualified. They get qualified, and that makes the next pair not qualified. So right now, here we go again. John Koenig chauffeur, Otterville, Ontario, Canada. Came across the border, made his first start with the IHRA back in 1992.
Well,
so he's been at it for a couple of minutes.
Yes, he has. And these are both names I remember back in 2006, some 20 years ago. Elijah Morton, Swansboro, North Carolina. The only pro stock chassis built by Larry Jeffers Race Cars, the one-time owner of the International Hot Rod Association. And Elijah, 5:24. Koenig chauffeur, 4:29. Both are capable. We'll find out shortly. Tell you what, Ron, they're both in. Well, no, they're not.
They look good passes, but neither one of them will make the field.
So John Koenig chauffeur will end up number 19 qualifier. Misses it by 0.08 of a second. Elijah Morton, 4:34.3. And we're going to take a quick pause to fill in bald spots. And we will resume this round of qualifying in Mountain Motor Pro Stock. So let's do a game summary so we can catch our breath. Number 1 qualifier, Jerry Tucker, 4:05.6. Number 2, Jason Grima. We just saw his run a couple of pairs ago, 4:09.1. John DeFlorian Jr., 4:10 with a 3. He's in the staging lanes. Brad Waddle, 4:10 with a 9. Johnny Plashino, 4:12 with a 7. Gentleman John Montecalvo, 4:13 with a 7. Dwayne Rice, 4:13 with a 7. Alan Drinkwater, 4:13 with an 8. Chris Powers, 4:13 with an 8. Corey Voss, 4:14 with a 1. Jesse Alexandra, 4:14 with a 4. Jeremy Huffman, 4:14 with a 5. Mike Coughlin, 4:14 with a 6. Lenny Lottig, 4:14 with an 8. Mike Giangrande, 4:17 with an 8, and Jordan Enslin, 4:18 with a 2. There is a whole lot of smush from number 5 to number 16. You got a couple 4.0s and a couple 4.10s, but after that, we've got 4 cars with a 13 number. We've got 5 cars with a 14 number. And it is getting very interesting here in Mountain Motor Pro Stock, powered by Ross Environmental.
I tell you, they had a bit of a struggle on some of them yesterday, and you could see those guys figured it out pretty quickly. They have got these hot rods absolutely flying today, and can't wait to see the rest. Again, looks like we've got the tractors put away, Bill, and we are about ready to continue on with this qualifier number 2 for Mountain Motor Pro Stock, powered by Ross Environmental.
Well, here's a guy who was in the show who is presently on the outside looking in, and that, of course, is Sylvester Barnes from Cleveland, Ohio. And the Kazi Power Plant here in the Ohio Peterbilt lane, and that is Kurt Neighbor.
Literally just a couple of guys that are local to us who we've been watching for a good portion of our lives, Bill.
Well, pretty much. If you mean the entire portion, then you would be correct. Kurt Neighbor has campaigned a Ford. That was yesterday. That 4:25.3 was a PR, personal record, for Kurt Neighbor. And, you know, he was probably feeling pretty good. Now we're going to say, Kurt, you got to find at least a 10th. And he's going to say, Bill, I just ran the quickest pass in my life. And I'm going to say, Kurt, find me a 10th, because that's what it's going to take. For Sylvester Barnes, he needs the hero shot right now. He needs to run quicker than 4:18 with a 2. Everybody who grew up at this racetrack is pulling for these two guys to make the program. Kurt Neighbor, I've only ever seen him in a Ford. I'm pretty sure that's all he's ever owned. When everybody was using a Hemi motor, a Chrysler power plant, an alcohol funny car, not Kurt Neighbor. Kurt was doing it with a Ford combination. He has been a loyalist since the first Model A rolled off the assembly line.
And Sylvester Barnes, folks, in the mountain motor world, he is bringing the smallest motor in 815 cubic inches. Is that all, Sylvester?
Well, you know what's funny? 815 cubic inches is a lot of cubic inch until you realize what everybody else has in the
840.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, and Sylvester, good drag race. Oh, 4:33, great run for Sylvester Barnes, 162 miles an hour. Ends up number 21. Kurt Neighbor runs quicker than the 25. He steps up with a 24 with a 1, but right now he is number 18.
And again, like you said, Sylvester and Kurt, those were two really good passes, just not enough.
Well, and Sylvester got in that wheel stand, and when he set the car down, it sashayed at about the 330-foot mark. all of that insight courtesy not of my photographic memory, but courtesy of Flo and the instant replay that we have up here in race control. So thank you, FloSports.
Kind of handy to have up there, isn't it, Bill?
Well, I'll tell you what, the next race I announce won't have that, and I will be lost. Number 20 qualifier, Al Davidowski, moved up from top sportsman to Mountain Motor Pro Stock, and welcome to the show, the Columbus, New Jersey native in the 2010 Pickle car with 830 cubic inches of Sonny Leonard motor. He ran a 429. He needs to find about 1200s to feel comfortable.
Yep, Dennis Furcus from Franklin Park, Illinois, coming up on the Ohio Peterbilt side, the Done Right Auto and Soil Ride. He's number 17 on the outside looking in. And again, about, well, like you said, probably would like to see about 400s drop.
Well, remember, there are pairs behind them, and they need some breathing room right now. Anything with a 15, and oh my, Furcus, 4:17.7, moves into number 16. Al Davidowski, 4:18.5. He is sitting at number 18. 18 is not getting in. 17 with a 7, buddy. If you've got a rosary, you better burn through it. Attention in the pit area. We need to make the call for round 1 of the Edelbrock Super Series Elite. And we need, what did you tell me, Kelly? Pro and Super Pro. Pro goes inside fence and Super Pro goes outside fence. Again, Edelbrock Super Series Elite, Pro and Super Pro. We need you to the staging lanes, please. Jesse Alexandra, he's in. Alexandria from West Bend, Wisconsin, number 11 qualifier. He's one of those 14ers, 4:14.4. I would think Matt Giangrande is probably safe, Ron.
Should feel good. I think a lot of the folks that are still left to run
are pretty high up.
Are high up, and yeah, I think they brought a lot of the folks that needed it early. Giangrande, the raised clutch is Kasi Racing 2021 Camaro. Again, 4:17 with a 3. Again, they're in, but they want to get better. They want to move up the ladder. They want to get a better position.
Well, and Giangrande won the 2023 and 24 Drag Illustrated Mountain Motor Pro Stock Invitational. And Giangrande, I'll tell you what, this is going to be a good lap for him. 4:12.9 at 174. Giangrande moves up to number 6 qualifier. And Alexandra, 4:15.5, does not improve on the 4:14.4 from yesterday. So he holds serve at number 12 qualifier. Dennis Furcus, breathe, my friend. You're the man on the bump spot right now. Now, Summit Lane, Lenny Lottig, Myersdale, Pennsylvania. He is qualified number 14 or 15 in the program. 4:14 with an 8, the 2025 NHRA Factory X World Champion, driving the Grumpy's Toy Tribute Camaro. Remember Factory X, how excited everyone was about that? That was going to be the next big thing.
Oh, yeah.
What a shame. Lenny Lottig won the World Championship in 2025. And the man in the Ohio Peterbilt lane, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, the 2021 Camaro, Chris Powers. They're both in the program. I think the question is, do they move up at all into the program? Or, I mean, they're in the top 10.
But you'd like to be at the top half of the ladder. That's always the advantage to get the lane you'd like in round 1.
Yeah. So Chris Powers, the human rain delay, the Mike Hargrove of Mountain Motor Pro Stock. And he goes into pre-stage first. Lenny Lottig in the Summit lane.
Got to be a Indians fan to understand that.
Tell you what, this is going to be Lottig. He's just got more. and he had it based on reaction time. 414, Powers 412 moved up, and Lottig 414 with a 6. He's in number 14. But a lot of iterations taking place in that run. I mean, wheelie bar, left wheelie bar, right wheelie bar.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
For those of you that remember Mike Hargrove, when he played for the Cleveland Indians, when he would step into the batter's box, well, let me just say it was a whole thing.
Then he'd step back out after ball one.
Oh, yeah.
Just the right wristband, just the left wristband.
And the cup. The cup was never where it needed to be.
Had to move the elbow pads around a little bit.
So, Summit Lane, Jeremy Huffman, Catawba, North Carolina. The 3V Performance Haas entry. It's a 2010 Cobalt with 832 cubic inches of Hemi motor.
Coming up against John DeFlorian Jr., Arnold, Missouri, the Total Seal, Graber Concrete, 2015 Camaro, 825 cubic inches of Cossi motor.
So once again, we need Edelbrock Super Series Pro and Super Pro. Edelbrock Super Series cars, we need you on the ready. Man, DeFlorian 007 on a Pro tree, and look at that! Ladies and gentlemen, side by side, 412s. DeFlorian goes, he retains number 3 spot with a 10. Jeremy Huffman retains number 6, but side by side, 412s. So it looks as though this might be our last pair. And it is. So the field is set, but we get to look at the Lindsay, Oklahoma native in his 24 Camaro. This is number 1 qualifier, Mr. Jerry Tucker.
And I believe Brad Waddle started the day out number 2.
Yes, he did.
But there's been a couple of guys that snuck in there. And
yep.
I do mean snuck in by just one by a couple hundreds, the one by about 6,000. So number 1 and number 2 are now number 1 and number 4. Jerry Tucker, that pass yesterday was picture perfect.
Well, the noted crew chief in that Ohio Peterbilt lane. I've known this man my entire life, Frank Gugliotta, Rich Purdy, and Gary Futrell, the crew on that car. But the man bent over the wheelie bars right now, that is Jerry Tucker. And in the Summit lane, Brad Waddle, the Innovators West Incorporated Mustang from Solomon, Kansas. This is going to be a great side-by-side drag race, Ron.
Yep, and let's watch the tree. Let's see who gets the advantage. Oh, identical.
Listen, when you can run O's. But look at Tucker, 409 side-by-side. Tucker number 1, Waddle number 3 qualifier, but side-by-side 409s. And that concludes a raucous round of qualifying in Mountain Motor Pro Stock.
That was an outstanding.
I'm going to tell you something.
We saw 12. We saw essentially a bunch of 100% solid passes down that racetrack, Bill.
Jerry Tucker and Brad Waddle never even shimmied. They were on a line. Thank you, Flow Sports. Tucker number 1, Grima number 2, Waddle 3, DeFlorian 4, Powers 5, Jerry Huffman 6, Johnny Plascino 7, Mike Giagrande 8, Montecalvo 9, Rice 10, Drinkwater 11, Voss 12, Alexandra 13, Lenny Lottig 14, Mike Coughlin 15, Dennis Burkus number 16 qualifier. And with that, we are going to shift gears. This is elimination round 1 in R&R Auto Body Top Sportsman, and we need Edelbrock Super Series Elite Pro and Super Pro. Edelbrock Super Series Elite Pro and Super Pro. We need you to the staging lanes, please. Let's roll. Edelbrock Super Series Elite Pro and Super Pro. This now is a high-stakes bracket race, Ron Huntley. This is eliminations, round number 1. They qualified, they got a round cut short, 16 cars, 16 spots. David Paoni dials in at a 432. This is a David-Goliath matchup because Tim Molnar is wicked fast.
388 to dial in for the 68 Camaro out of Seville, Ohio. You see the handicap start. There is a reaction advantage for Molnar, and look at that.
Oh.
388 with a 1 beats a 432 with a 1.
They both ran dead on.
With a 1 to the 1,000. And folks, they all the advantages at the starting line for Molnar. You'll see that a lot in bracket racing, and there we go. Jeff Melnick trying to win the burnout contest that we are not, well, we're having one, but it's the gassers later on.
Yeah, absolutely. That race was won by 23 thousandths of a second.
And it was all at the starting line.
And it was all at the starting line with reaction time. Now, back to the starting line we go. Gary Wonowski, second-generation racer. His son is racing here today in the Summit Racing Junior Dragster Shootout. From Edina, Ohio, the Motorsport Unlimited, 598 cubic inch bow tie, tucked away in that 2009 Chevy Cobalt.
Yep, up against Jeff Melnick, the Exotic Fab sponsored Avenger. 548 cubic inches of supercharged Mopar motor under the hood and kind of sticking out a little bit on the Ohio Peterbilt side.
So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we need Edelbrock Super Series Elite, Pro and Super Pro. Edelbrock Super Series Elite, Pro and Super Pro. Guys, we need you. This is a round one elimination call.
The advantage, Melnick puts on the win light, another one running dead on the dial, folks. Again, these are fast cars, but they are very good at what they do. And they got them set up perfectly.
Well, Melnick had the quicker reaction time by 200ths, call it, of a second. And Melnick had the better reaction time, ran right on his dial with a 1. Gary Wonowski ran too quick by 5 1,000ths of a second. He needed to do that because he gave up 200ths of a second at the starting line. Now, your number one qualifier here in the Ohio Peterbilt lane from Middleburg Heights, Ohio, the Gary Schween entry. This is Brian Tiffy. He dials a 384 rod, and Chris Osborne is sitting over there with a big difference, 426. So Brian Tiffy in the Ohio Peterbilt lane, Chris Osborne in the Summit lane. Well, I'll tell you what, Osborne is going to be your winner. Chris Osborne, 012 on the tree, on his number with a 1. Brian Tiffy, 053, breaks out by 8 1,000ths of a second. And it is really, really tight racing out there. You better hit the tree and you better run on your number if you're going to make the program.
To tell you that these guys have their stuff together, mind you, they did not get a qualifying pass today. They did not get that opportunity to make a qualifying pass. They went right to round one of elimination. So all the data, these guys carry a lot of data.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We need Weisco Cycletech Superbike. We need you to the staging lanes, please. Weisco Cycletech Superbike. We need you to the staging lanes, please. Jerry Albert, number 12 qualifier from Avon, Ohio, the 97 Camaro, 665 cubic inches of bottle-fed bow tie, sitting over in that Summit lane. And in the Ohio Peterbilt lane,
that'd be Ronnie Proctor out of Hedgesville, West Virginia, the Laris Motorsports ride. Another guy that's been at it a long time, pretty much mostly Fords over the years for Ronnie.
Well, and you know, Ronnie Proctor was an alternate in this program, and he pulls up alongside one of the legendary figures in top sportsman racing, Jerry Albert.
Again, a silly thing that I like, Bill, Jerry's got his nitrous purge behind, by the back window.
Oh my, Albert's in a bit of trouble. Here comes Proctor, and it is going to be Ronnie Proctor. He was 024, runs a 16 with a 5 on a 15, and Jerry was a little late, runs 100th below his dial-in, and Jerry Albert out here in round number 1. Listen, Ronnie Proctor is a great racer. I've known Ronnie for a long time. I don't know that that's an upset or not. I think anytime Jerry Albert goes out first round, it's an upset. But congratulations to Ronnie Proctor doing Ronnie Proctor things, hitting the tree and moving on into round number 2. Back to the starting line. Scott Wasco, Columbia Station, Ohio. The Hoosier, Weisco, Tiffy Motorsports, 2011 GXP over in that Summit lane.
Yep, he's got Karsten Nierges in the other lane. Talk about a young guy that I do believe is just getting his feet wet in the top sportsman world. He's out of Chardon, Ohio, another one of the Swing Motorsports car, the in-your-face Motorsports cars detailing top disc sponsored hot rod. Dialed in 438, getting ready to get chased. I have watched Karsten win in his other car, and he's an incredibly capable driver.
Well, Scotty Wasco, accomplished drag racer, and Karsten, this is kind of your seasoned veteran versus young gun matchup. Wow, they are separated by 1,000th of a second. It's going to be Wasco, double breakout. Karsten Nierges crossed the finish line by 2,000ths of a second. Scott Wasco won the race by 3,000ths of a second.
Margin of victory is how far under they were. You can't go under. 438 dialing for Nierges, went 437.4. Wasco down to 415, goes 414.7. And sometimes by getting behind in bracket racing, you can turn on a win light.
Well, they did just that. So here is the patriotic 2007 Dodge Stratus of Keith Castle over in the Summit lane.
He's up against Mark McDonald out of Boonville, Indiana. The JBM race cars. Clark Evans sponsored 2014 Mustang. That is a 611 cubic inch Ford motor. Taking him down with a 447 dial-in.
We need Edelbrock Sportsman delivered on time by TFC Transportation. I'll tell you what, Keith Castle, 003 reaction time. Mark McDonald runs right on his dial with a 4, but Ron, he was late on the tree, and Keith Castle, that was an easy round win for him.
Well, if you watch Bill, and maybe you'll see it if they show the replay, it seemed to me like he took a very Sylvester Barnes path, did Keith Castle. He went a little bit out to the left, brought it back a little bit. That's all right, made it work.
Well, we got a little bit of a fire in the water box. And now being given the signal to fire. And that is Bill Yates, his beautiful wife looking on. And not sure. Well, you know what? The headset's off. And that is a bad sign for Bill Yates. Glenn Butcher is going to get a competition single.
I'll tell you, that's a beautiful car, too, that Yates is piloting. That is a great-looking little hot rod. And look at the 383. Mind you, the quick dial-in we saw earlier was 384. Butcher dials 383.
Well, that's because he just can't live with the idea that somebody dialed quicker than him. So, Butcher...
How dare you?
How dare you dial a Glenn Butcher number? So, folks, that is a very difficult... That's a great race team. And very unfortunate for Bill Yates and company how that story ended in round number 1. So Butcher, now the guy who annihilated the drivetrain at the Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Nationals, comes out here to test on Thursday. In so doing, he destroys the transmission. He goes back home, builds what he can there, brings it back here, puts it back in, And now the good Lord is smiling on the butcher of Doylestown, Glenn Butcher. And that is picture perfect Butcher. Glenn Butcher getting the competition single. And I don't know exactly what might have happened on that. It's a win, don't get me wrong, it's a win for Butcher. But I don't know if he rolled. So Ron Biondo going to back up and try that one again, if he can.
Ugly. Dwayne yesterday blew it up, unfortunately, in a rather spectacular fashion, but it's only spectacular to look at. I'm sure it wasn't spectacular to see once he got back to the pits. So Ron Biondo getting a competition single here in the R&R Auto Body Top Sportsman All-Stars.
Well, and Dwayne Galagli, the Cedarville, Ohio native, Deer Run Investment, 68 Camaro with a 959 cubic inch. Is that a typo? A 959 cubic inch big block
That's
Chevrolet.
not a typo.
So that is Pat Musey power. And unfortunately, Galagli unable to make the call. Biondo gets the comp single. And Ron Biondo dialed the 423 here in round number 1. And Biondo gonna go 422.1 at 170 miles an hour. So that will conclude the R&R Auto Body Top Sportsman All-Star Shootout elimination round number 1. We are going to run through the Edelbrock Super Series Elite. We have got the Summit Racing Junior Dragster Shootout, and then we are going to come right back around with round 1 of Mountain Motor Pro Stock, powered by Ross Environmental. Folks, we are going to target a 6 p.m. start time. So we are going to target a 6 p.m. elimination start time. The autograph session is going to go from 4:30 to 5:15. 4:30 to 5:15 with the autograph session. We're going to cut that about 15 short. I hate to do that, but we know we've got till about 9 o'clock, and then we are going to get rained on. So we are operating in a very narrow window. To tell you how close this was, I had my first draft of the press announcement saying that we were done. That's how close this came. And I sat there, and for some reason, the inspiration was to forge ahead. So that's what we're doing. And the good Lord, if you could see fit to get us to about 10 o'clock, I would really, really, really appreciate it.
Everybody blow towards the west. They blow it away from us.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be round number 1 of run number 1.
Jason Grima, after round 1 of qualifying, you were sitting number 15th. Then you were in the staging lanes, became on the outside looking in, but you said, no problem, 409, I'll just go number 2.
That's it. I trust my boys, the way they do things. We had a bad run yesterday. We just went back, had a look at it all, and this is what they come back with. So we should have run that yesterday, to be honest with you. So I'm pretty happy. And it's great that the rain's kept away for us so we can have another run.
Yeah, let's hope it stays that way, but congratulations on your 409 and your number 2 spot right now. Hopefully it holds, and we'll see you in E1.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Camaro. Mickey, little paint challenge down the roof, but don't let that fool you. That thing is a ticket print machine. And there he goes, Mickey Adams. And problems for Mickey. Oh, tough break. He was 005 up front, had the advantage, and just could not get there. And here's another proof that you don't have to be pretty to be a bracket racer. C.J. Yeager, the CJW Solutions. No brag, just fact performance. 76 Omega 4-door. They call it the Yomega. 722 dial-in for CJ up against Thomas Summers in his Firebird out of North Ridgeville, Ohio. 656 dial-in. This, I believe Rick Cole Jr. started out his career in this car. So here they go in the Yomega out in front. Open Engineering trying to get him through, and it's going to be CJ 723 on the 22, 92 miles an hour, puts the whoa pedal on, puts the wind light on. Thomas Summers dead on with a 6, but just could not get there. He gave it up at the starting line on reaction time. Brian Green, Marion, Ohio, 574 dial-in, Ohio Peterbilt side of the racetrack. The 625 for Scotty Campbell in the wheel standing 88 Camaro. And at this time, we need all of our Summit Racing Equipment Junior Dragster Shootout participants. We need all of you to the rear of staging, please. 2000s too soon. The red light for Brian Green. Wind light will go to Scotty Campbell. So once again, we need to the staging lanes at this time our juniors, all of our juniors. We will sort you out when you get here. We need all of our juniors for the Summit Racing Equipment Junior Dragster Shootout. We need you to the rear staging for pairing. Let's go, all of our juniors, please and thank you. Mike Dumont in the Mustang. BMD Custom Designs, dial 589. These are the two guys that were in the burn box when Mother Nature intervened the first time. Dumont getting chased by Jason Fleener, and it should be Fleener. It will be Fleener. 576 on the 575. Big time starting line advantage for Jason Fleener. Couple of fast hot rods right here. John Gregory out of Elyria, Ohio, 1991 Mustang, doing one for the Blue Oval people. He is on the Ohio Peterbilt side, going to be chasing John Lowry. Send it transmission, Fleener Transmissions, CJW Solutions, Wire Design, Badman Engines, Muffleheads Breweries. He's got all sorts of stuff going on. He was our 2025 R&R Auto Body Paint My Ride winner, and you can tell that is a sharp looking hot rod. He almost won the wheelie contest as well, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to say that too loudly. Kelsey will get mad. And it's going to be the wind light going for John Lowry. Gregory turns it red up front by 9 thousandths of a second. 008 dead for 12 total. 12 thousandths away from perfection for John Lowry. That'll win you a lot of rounds, folks. Next pair up, you got Brian Workman from Willard, Ohio, the south of 162 Racing. 72 Nova. Ohio Peterbilt side of the racetrack, dressed in blue. Looking at Brian Cerruti on the Summit side of the racetrack. I've seen Brian in his Camaro running countless big money races and winning them as well. I mean, all across the country. He is a very decorated drag racer. Whoa, man, Workman. 004 wrong side. I think one of his crew guys was up here. Seemed disappointed. Wind light will go to Cerruti. 16 up front. Dead on with an 8 on the 623. Next up, Taylor Majors, Clyde, Ohio. A young lady in the level performance. Fleener Transmissions, Mom and Dad, Nane Ziotto. Sponsored S10. Sharp looking ride, always has been. Up against Ron Smith. That's some old school cool. Yep. That 65 Chevy 2 sponsored by Mulch King on a straight axle front axle. He can almost qualify for the they could almost qualify for the gassers with that hot rod. A little bit of work, maybe a blower through the hood. And this looks like it should be the Mulch King. He's going to run her through the shredder. 682 on the 676. Taylor Majors, who's an outstanding racer, missed badly there. And Ryan Roberts could not make the call this weekend, so Nick Moss will get the competition single. Lucky guy. Again, we had called all of our juniors. We need all of our juniors back to the lanes. We need all of our juniors to the lanes to get lined up, please, for our junior dragster shootout. Brought to you by Summit Racing, 628 for Moss on the 627. We now go into Edelbrock Super Pro, round number 1 here in the Edelbrock Super Series Elite. That is the main squeeze. Nathan Burns, Fostoria, Ohio, the home base. Danby and Ohio Logistics helping out that supercharged 68 Camaro. Looking over at Justin Hardy out of Lambertville, Michigan. 2023 Diamond Race Cars chassis, long, skinny. Motor in the back. Driver in the front. Wheels way out in front. Justin Hardy, dial 474, 506 for Burns. Oh, they're a 1,000th apart on reaction time. Who plays the finish line game better? Oh, Nathan Burns breaks out by 1,000th of a second. Going to hand the win to Justin Hardy. 12th thou reaction at the starting line. Runs dead on with an 8 on that 474 dialing. 474 with an 8. Nathan Burns, 1 thou later off the starting line. Got to the finish line first by 8,000ths of a second. That was 1,000th too many. He goes too fast. Brandon Bennett coming up on the Summit side of the racetrack. Woodville, Ohio, Adkins chassis to hot rod, dialed 487. Same numbers, different order for Stephen Miglitz. He's dialed 478. Sheffield Lake, Ohio in the silver ride on the Ohio Peterbilt side. Edelbrock Super Series Elite round number 1 in the Super Pro category. See our juniors piling up in the back right now. And Brandon Bennett with the head start, with the better reaction time, and with the win light as Miglitz ran way off of his dial-in. So Bennett backed into an easy W down there. He was definitely on the low pedal at the finish line. Maria Sill, the young woman from Montville, Ohio, Sill's Garage, Ohio Peterbilt side of the racetrack. Up against Lucas Buckley. Pick your favorite black dragster, I guess. Buckley on the Summit side, the Buckley Hardwood ride out of Oregon, Ohio. Hey, ladies, you pull for the lady on the Ohio Peterbilt side. If she wins, I want to see you ladies jump up and get them arms up in the air. Guys, yeah, it's just Lucas. We'll be fine. It's going to be the lady getting the W. Maria Sill, your winner, 465, the one on the 66. She got Lucas to go 008 red, and Lucas will have to put the hot rod away for the day and kick back and watch the show. Carl Kyle II out of Perrysburg, Ohio, coming up the Summit side of the racetrack. Carl, multi-time champ here at Summit Motorsports Park. Heck of a driver, grand performance, Fleener transmission, TFC transportation, hot rod. Dialed 506. He's up against Joey Stojakovic. Everything Joey has is for sale. You want to know how you know? His car number is for sale. That's just how Joey rolls. Folks, you could go down and probably buy that car from Joey between rounds. And depending on how this round goes, will depend on where the price goes. Trips hit the 006. Joey was good. Carl was better. Carl, 506 to the 9 and a perfect reaction time. 9 total. Joey Stojakovic was just a spectator. He got down there and tried to go Casper on him, tried to disappear, and well, there's nowhere for him to go at that point. Jeff Hura, Ohio Peterbilt side, out of Collins, Ohio. He's into the multicolored dragster on the Ohio Peterbilt side, up against the lovely and talented Chris Goebel. He's from Port Clinton, Ohio. Bader Flowers, APD level performance, Fleener transmission, all helping the man out of Port Clinton. Jeff Hura, he lives in Collins, Ohio. He's close enough he could probably drive that car here. I wouldn't suggest that there are a lot of state patrolmen around. And it's looking pretty good. Oh, Jeff taking too much finish line. He had a pretty sizable advantage at the starting line. Just took too much finish line. He breaks out by 0.08 of a second. Chris Goebel under by 0.02 of a second. Chris Goebel going to round 2 of the Edelbrock Super Series Elite. Next up, Bobby Gill. Gill, not in his Barracuda anymore. He sold the Barracuda and bought this Chevrolet over on the Summit side of the racetrack. 1956 Chevy, down 568, 464 for Scott Sill. You saw Maria Sill a little bit earlier, the Sill's Garage short wheelbase dragster. Out of Montville, Ohio, Scott Sill dialed in 464. I recognize that car on the Summit side. I'm trying to remember who owned it before, but yeah. Bobby will buy and sell cars as well. You could probably buy that 56 from him. But he's busy right now. Sill is in and set. Bobby Gill. Sill and Gill. Pick your favorite Gill. Oh, Scott missed bad. And it's taking a pretty, now, Bobby tried to mess that up, but Bobby ends up getting the win. He breaks out by 11 thou. Scott also breaks out by 11 thou, but a massive win there for Bobby Gill as he had a huge lead starting line. Jeff Fenn, former track champ here at Summit Motorsports Park in the Super Pro class in that Camaro down 508, Vermillion, Ohio, the home base. Up against Kurt Voltman, the better racer, best racer in the family. Caden is in the lanes waiting to run juniors. 001 to a 12. Jeff Fenn trying to put Kurt away, and he goes too quick by a thou. That is going to be a win for Voltman. Again, sometimes getting behind is the correct strategy in bracket racing. And Voltman, 12 dead 2. Get 14 pack. That should win a lot of races. He was at a disadvantage with Jeff Fenn, though, and just made it work. Randy Shire Jr., who fancies himself a old school, maybe, you know, back in the old days kind of burnout. He wants to go time machine back to about 1986. Randy Shire, APD and Rocco Machine, up against Brittany DeMont. the BMD Custom Designs and Fire Racing ride here on the Ohio Peterbilt side. One thou the difference between Shire and Dumont up front. Breakout for Shire, win light for Brittany Dumont, 20 dead, 1. Shire did what he could and broke out in the process. Well, folks, again, like I said earlier during the time trial, here's we were go slightly different than what you've been looking at. We're going from 4 wheels and an 1/8 mile to 2 wheels and a 1/4 mile. Craig Adams on the Ohio Peterbilt side. Again, they're running to the 1/4 mile on the motorcycles here in the Edelbrock Super Series Elite Wiseco Cycle Tech Superbike. Craig Adams up against Zach Gill, 3rd generation racer, is the young man on the Summit side, dialed 831. Craig Adams, oh my goodness, an upset, broke the bike on the starting line, and Zach Gill will get the competition single. The multi-time Cycle Tech Wiseco Superbike champ is out in round 1 due to breakage. That is tough. Daryl Carmichael, Tip City, 831 the dial in for Carmichael. Getting ready to chase after Tom McGowan. McGowan out of Curtis, Ohio. There, Tom, you feel better? Curtis, Ohio on the Summit side, 2015 Kawasaki, 846 dial in. Again, you see the old school drag bike with the wheelie bars, the big fat back tire up against the extended swing arm bike piloted by McGowan. Advantage, the man from Curtis, win light. The man from Curtis, 851, 149 miles an hour. And Tom McGowan goes on into round number 2 of the Edelbrock Super Series Elite. Next up, Jeremy Hicks, Adams and Goodwin Racing. For the Ohio Peterbilt side of the racetrack, the man in the white jacket. The red leathers, that's Kyle Dollamore, 805 dialing for Kyle. So a pretty good side-by-side pass by a couple of drag bikes. And they're about a thou apart at the starting line. Win light gonna go to Jeremy Hicks. Both guys about a 1/10 off the dial. I think Kyle actually clicked it off early, thinking he was in good shape, and got brought around by a foul. That's going to leave a mark. Jason Durnack out of Romulus, Michigan. Almost a stock wheelbase on that thing, 899. Fisher Body Shop, Katie Racing. Hard Time Parts and Service, and Schnitz Racing. Careful when you say that. Up against Don Stokes, Republic, Ohio, Kloss Insurance. Snyder floor covering on the Kawasaki. He's on the Ohio Peterbilt side, is Stokes on the darker colored bike, the green Machina Durnack on the Summit side. the margin at the starting line, 4th thou. Here comes Durnak trying to make up that space. He doesn't have to. Don Stokes breaks out by a lot. Win light will go to Jason Durnak. Watches Don cross the finish line a little over a tenth more than he did. Says, you go ahead, sir. Eric Harmon, the Liguori sponsored hot rod on the Summit side out of Canfield, the white machine, up against multi-time champ, I believe back-to-back champs here. Champion here, as well as a multi-time winner of the Best Appearing Motorcycle Award. That is Matt Short here, the Safety Auto Glass TFC Transportation ride out of Brunswick on the Ohio Peterbilt side. And Harmon leaves the starting line 7th thou too soon. And Matt Short, 783 at 173 miles an hour. Oh, that thing's a rocket ship. Brian Joyce, Hartville, Ohio. Jordy, as always, down there by the concrete, looking on the Ohio Peterbilt side, up against Michael Madej, going off the bottom bulb, kids. 899 dial. I think he's going off the bottom bulb. Michael's always been, he's always been a little bit of a different rider on that white bike. Outstanding, very talented young man. Oh, 12th down on the wrong side for Michael. Puts him in the cooler for the rest of the day. Joyce will keep his arm turned, 872 with a 2 on the 868. Madej 906 on the 899. Bows out. John Wise, Bellevue, Ohio. He's a Cycle Tech guy. John dialed in at an 876 here on the Ohio Peterbilt side. Getting ready to thunder against Kevin Adams. Between the Adams boys, you could fill several hands with championship rings. They have, for the longest time, if Craig wasn't winning it, Kevin was winning it. And they've both been up pretty close the last couple of years. They're identical at the starting line as far as reaction time goes. Now they got to play the finish line. Wise, Adams, and it's going to be Adams, 850 with a 5 on the 848. 14 thousandths the difference at the finish line, and the win light popping on for Kevin Adams. John Wise will put his two-wheeler away for the day. Here's another one of those Adams guys. That's Connor Adams, the next generation to get on the two-wheeler and let her rip. Tater Chip, 872 dial in. Up against Jason Keller from Curtis, Ohio. And Keller going after the young man on the Ohio Peterbilt side. Keller should be and will be your winner. Jason Keller, 858, 14th thou margin of victory. We now go into what might be a little bit more relatable for a lot. You're going to see a pretty wide variety of vehicles in this class, as well as seeing some true street cars. I mean, by true street cars, I mean stuff that was driven here. Maybe not so much what's at the starting line now. Mark Falk, Ashland, Ohio, the legendary Hornet driven by the legendary man out of Ashland. 1185 the dial in, going high gear only, up against John McEwen out of Bloomdale, Ohio. 1970 Nova, Dow 1216. And you'll see them racing to the quarter mile. Here comes that primered Hornet. That thing has won more rounds. Oh my goodness, it's not winning that one. Mark Falk let him go by 8 thousandths of a second, and that is, he might need a hug. He might need a couple of hugs. John McEwen takes the win. It don't have to be pretty, it's just got to be shining on your side sometimes. Dave Widmar, the second out of Parma Heights, the Fisher Plumbing, 82 Capri. Whitmire up against his, technically the owner of the guy that's is sponsored by Pishner Plumbing. Jeff Pishner is the one that's going to put him out. Jeff Pishner, 1170 on the 1165. Next up, the four-door Caprice, Cody Balcom, 1176 the dial in for that big bad hot rod on the Summit side. Ohio Peterbilt side, Todd Norman in the Fairmont, the Mike Stock Shop. He had problems in his time trials. See if he got her sorted out. But Cody, yeah, he's hanging out up there, 1227, 92 mile an hour. Cody never fully got out of it. He knew that, you know, just in case something happened behind him and come flying up. Tough break for Todd Norman. Raleigh Fleener, heck of a time for your car to decide it didn't want to perform in front of the biggest crowd you'll ever be able to perform on in front of. Raleigh Fleener now 1353 in the fourth generation Camaro, up against John Septerick. Olmsted Township, Ohio, been around this for a long time. Septerick. Septerick down 1495 in the SN95 era Mustang. Whew. Septerick trying to hold off the very young, right out of juniors and right out of the, Septerick getting the win. Raleigh Fleener literally right out of juniors, just fresh out of juniors and junior street. Great job there by John Septerick, 96 of the 4 in the 1495, 007 up front. Next up, Marlon Howes, another one of those guys up the Milan, Michigan area, very legendary, has won tons of championships, down 1224 up against Sandy Hensley. Normally runs a big old Buick Roadmaster, but the Roadmaster is broke, so Sandy is out there in the street car. And the red light, and I think Sandy's Cadillac's probably pretty happy about that. The red light for Sandy Hensley, and again, when you're out of your element, out of your race car, luckily all I've ever raced was slow street cars, so it wouldn't matter to me. But you get out of your element like that, and that can be really tough to come up against, man. But out there giving it the effort, but Marlon Howes is going to round 2. Here's a couple of guys that's won a whole bunch of stuff here, including a guy that's won a whole, let's put it this way, the money that Nick Hastings has won at big money races, you couldn't fit into that Mustang. He's also been the Sportsman World Champ, NHRA World Champ a few years ago, had the #1. Up against Larry Strozier, who's won a whole bunch of stuff here, including a bunch of Best Appearing awards, but right now, he's just hoping he can find a way to appear in round number 2. And that's not going to happen. Win light will go to Nick Hastings, backs into a 1216 and the 1208, 106 miles an hour, closes it up to 12 thousandths because that's what Nick does. Next pair up, Bob Stevens. That's a 1984 S10 Blazer, slightly modified, 1238 dialing. Says deep on the window, he's knocking that top bulb out, which you see him do. Up against Tom Miller Jr. Northwood, Ohio, the home base. Gilbert Heating and Breeze, 85 Camaro. And right now, again, hoping for a little bit of a miracle. Bob Stevens usually doesn't hand them out. 1245, 107 miles an hour. 003 reaction time for Stevens at the starting line. another former Sportsman class champion, as well as being a Halloween Classic champ, Chaz Lang, Heights Stone Quarry. Monroeville transmission, 81 Malibu, dialed 1166. 1305 for Corey Harder in the Mustang 2. Back in the day when these first came out, the advertising slogan was Mustang 2, boredom 0, and that was a complete lie. Those things with a 2.3-liter motor in them could get out of their own way, your way, my way, a bicycle's way, a tricycle's way. But you put a little V8 in it, and look at that, 1305 on the 1305. Corey Harder, that's a pretty solid win right there for Corey over Chaz Lang. So the Mustang 2 gets it done. Now we go, again, changing gears a little bit to a class developed back in the early 1990s with the idea of getting our future racers involved at a younger age. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Going to start out with our Summit Racing Equipment Junior Dragster Shootout. 3 different classes. Round number 1, we're at 8 cars apiece. You have Landon Tackett, the back in black ride out of Bucyrus, Ohio Peterbilt side of the racetrack. On the side of Gabe Winowski's car, it says for sale. He is the 3rd generation Winowski that Bill was talking about earlier. Winowski, dialed 795. So again, if you're looking to get into the junior dragster side of things with your kid, go talk to the Winowskis. You might be able to buy this one by the end of the day. Tackett getting ready to move up in the black car up against the white machine piloted by Winowski. Whew. Landon Tackett. Gabe was good at the start line. Landon was better, but Gabe was better at the finish line. A little too much womp-womp down there. Gabe Winowski, 22 up front, 96 to the 395, 6 foul margin of victory over Landon Tackett, who was 002 up front, but could not quite get there. Next up, Brandon DuPont, Blaze Technical Services ride out of Twinsburg, Ohio. 795 dial-in, stars and stripes on the ride on the Ohio Peterbilt side of the racetrack. Up against the Schweitzers and University Hospital sponsored machine of Braden Bear on the Norwalk, Ohio. Summit side of the racetrack, Braden, another 3rd generation drag racer out here on the Summit side. Yep, last year, Brandon DuPont was our advanced champion. Back again this year. Our intermediate champion was Braden Bear, and Braden, who's won this race before, won the shootout, unfortunately turns it red for him. Brandon DuPont says, sweet, I'm going to round 2. Now, here's another Brandon. That's Brandon Seidel, Marion, Ohio, KPP window tinting. Dialed 799 here on the Ohio Peterbilt side up against the black machine with Parker Hughes behind the wheel, O'Reilly Auto Parts, 2008 half scale, coming to you from Youngstown, Ohio. Oof, big time starting line advantage. And the win light will go to Parker Hughes as Brandon Seidel Missed it a little bit up front, and that cost him. Well, Jaden England did not make the trip, so your competition bye will go. The sharp-looking ride here on the Ohio Peterbilt side, that's Keegan Beverly. Willard, Ohio, the home base for the Gearhead Coffee and Schaefer's Oil sponsored machine. Keegan says he's going 8:02. Let's see what the car says. And Beverly, a little bit red there, 8:08 on the 8:02. Glad you had that competition single. You got a good look at it. Now here we go with our intermediate. Again, the junior classes separated primarily by age, a little bit by experience. They have to license at the different levels. And the advanced class that you saw are older kids. They have a 790, fastest dial-in they can have is 790. Well, here you're going to see our intermediate racers with an 890 potential dial-in, and you're going to see Adeline Lawson out of Sandusky, Ohio, in the white junior dragster. Boss chassis ride on the Summit side, dial 893. Logan Simpkins in the black ride. Pataskil, Ohio, the home base on the Ohio Peterbilt side. Pursuit Wrestling, Basel Race Fuels half-scale unit. Get ready to move up on the Ohio Peterbilt side. They are both dialed 893. So again, reaction time can be incredibly important. Theoretically, they should be leaving the starting line at the same exact time, but we know that's not how it works 100%. Let's see if we can determine just by eyeballs who gets the advantage. And you can see the advantage on the Ohio Peterbilt side. Logan Simpkins in charge. Just got to play the finish line game. There's two ends to the racetrack, and Logan Simpkins gets them both. 898 on the 893 for Simpkins. Next pair, one of the two Moreland twins, Callie Moreland, Schaefer Oils, Uncle Todd, and Finish Line Race Fuels helping out Callie, 931 dial-in here on the Ohio Peterbilt side against Ethan Russell's Adrian, Michigan-based 2016 American Race Cars Junior. Got the fist bump from his crew chief. Dialed in 890, so right at that minimum. And Callie out in front. Here comes Russell on the Summit side. Russell gets the win as Callie, a 10th slow, and might have slowed that up a little bit on her own. Ethan Russell going to round two of the Summit Racing Equipment Junior Dragster Shootout on the intermediate side. Next up, Madison Pickens, Elyria, Ohio. Pickens Metalworks 2022 chassis ride. 896 dialing on a chase after Brandon Schultze's 901 dial from Woodville 2016 half-scale chassis. And 003, wrong side for Madison Pickens. Win light will go to Brandon Schultze. Sometimes you need someone to hand you a little something. Got that handed. Morgan Pickens, another Pickens metalwork car for the Pickens folks, up against the other Moreland twin, Kendall Moreland, Schaefer Oil. Finish line race fuel, Transtech, and Uncle Todd helping out Team Moreland. Pickens in the pre-stage beam, awaiting Moreland, who goes right into the stage. They're just fourth out, part of the starting line. They get to the 8th mile, the win light will go to Morgan Pickens. 1,000th margin of victory over Kendall Moreland. 57 up front, 897 with a 5 on the 896 gets the win over the 53 up front of Kendall Moreland. 895 with a 0 on the 893. We now go to our youngest warriors here, Elena Russell. Adrian, Michigan, the home base, now 1390. Very young racer. Again, our beginners, our novices have, depending on their age, either an 1190 or 1390 quickest dial, up against Raina Hardendale, 1210. Elena's a tough racer. I've watched Elena do very well against the older kids. Not shook at all by the faster cars. And she's going to win that one as Raina Harden goes big time red light. Elena, 027 reaction time. Dials 1390. Going to roll through with a 1392. A unique setup with her car. Trenton Wolf, Martin, Ohio, the Wolfpack Racing 93 Spitzer Dragster. As an early junior right there, folks. Still out there doing work after 30 plus years. Up against Bentley Bear. Bentley University Hospital sponsored ride out of Norwalk on the Summit side. Bentley and Trent. Oh, tough break. Trenton Wolf's hot rod breaks on the starting line. So he'll have to back him off, and a competition single for Bentley Bear. And Bentley gets there. 35 up front, 1206 on the 1202. Charles Harden Jr., Pontiac, Michigan, Summit side of the racetrack, another 1390 Island. Caden Valtman, the young man from Amherst, Ohio, dial 1208. Going to be chasing down Harden. Starting line advantage going to go Summit side, but he cannot get there, and Caden Valtman will get the win light. Charles Harden had about 600s in his pocket at the starting line. but just could not make it work. Baxter Richards could not make the call this weekend, so we have Sawyer Simpkins out of Pataskala, the Base Hill Race Fuels machine. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I need to the rear staging. Mountain Motor Pro Stock, round 1. We need you to the rear staging preparing. Mountain Motor Pro Stock, round number 1. Mountain Motor Pro Stock powered by Ross Environmental. We need you. Come on. Mountain Motor Pro Stock powered by Ross Environmental. We need you to the rear staging at this time, please, for your round 1 pairing and round 1 of eliminations. Let's go, Mountain Motor Pro Stock. Sawyer Simpkins, 1198 on the 1198. Goodbye, beautiful lady. Bye, Jen. So we're going to see the track crew doing some work on the racing surface.
When you use Hot Shot Secret oil and fuel additives, you get decades worth of cutting-edge innovation. Innovation that saves you money and maximizes efficiency and performance. Hot Shot Secret started with a mission to solve one engine problem. Today, we have solutions for all kinds of common issues that impact your bottom line. From our world-class lab to your cars, trucks, and equipment, Hot Shot Secret is powered by science.
We drive tech. We drive the industry, going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see fuel tech everywhere.
At MotorState Distributing, the standard is simple. The right parts from the brands builders trust. For more than 60 years, our team has helped keep the industry moving. Working alongside brands like Holley, from garages to racetracks across the country, all of it moving forward and fueling passion.
Everybody wants to point at the driver like a quarterback. A quarterback and a driver doesn't win these games. It's the men and women in the trenches. My secret was number 1, you need sponsors like Cornwell Tools. And then you got to have a trusted crew with mechanical ability. And with that, you put the right tools in their hand, Cornwell Tools. Now you got championships, and it's only going to get better. I trust Cornwell Tools. That's the fact.
When you use Hot Shot Secret oil and fuel additives, you get decades worth of cutting-edge innovation. Innovation that saves you money and maximizes efficiency and performance. Hot Shot Secret started with a mission to solve one engine problem. Today, we have solutions for all kinds of common issues that impact your bottom line. From our world-class lab to your cars, trucks, and equipment, Hot Shot Secret is powered by science.
Unleash the power of performance with the Edelbrock Group. For over 85 years, our legendary brands have been trusted by automotive enthusiasts around the world. From street performance to racing, our innovative solutions, engineering, and testing deliver unmatched power, precision, and reliability. Proudly manufactured in our 7 facilities across the U.S., we stand by the quality of our craftsmanship. The Edelbrock Group, where passion meets performance.
Red Line Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me. Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
I'm here with Chris Powers, who currently sits number 5, and we had a little ruckus in the pits last night. Some grappling was done, and I think it just is a testament to how competitive this class is and how competitive the racers are.
Oh, I mean, for sure, you know, I mean, when you're a guy winning championships and setting records, and, you know, that team that had a little pissing contest up there whining about because they can't win a championship, they're just sore losers, and I'm good with it, you know. It's competition's good with most of these guys, but there's always a couple there from the north that just can't take it when they lose.
Good luck in E1, and we're going to end it on that. I think that's pretty much a mic drop moment. Dennis Ferguson and I are down here crossing our fingers. Go ahead and do it with me. Yes, because he is currently sitting on the bump for the Mountain Motor Pro Stock Division 417 with a 7. You did just enough, and hopefully that holds.
Thank you. Yeah, we can do better. We've done better, so hopefully we can get the right tune-up in it and get it down there.
If you do stay on the bump and you get to race in E1, how cool would it be to just go up there and take out the number 1 qualifier and make a statement?
That would be extra 1,050 or 1,500 is what they're saying, so that would be great.
Everybody loves a bonus, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good luck to you in E1, Dennis. I appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. You take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
elite. Let's go. Here we go, folks. They put on an absolutely insane show in qualifier number 2. Now we got round number 1. This is Mountain Motor Pro Stock, powered by the good folks from Ross Environmental.
Well, the 3-time world champion, 1 in I, 1 in ADRL, 1 in PDRA, and a former World Nationals winner some 26 years ago. But man, a World Nationals win is a World Nationals win. This is John Montecalvo from Center Marinches, New York. The asphalt paver by trade comes in, number 9 qualifier. Ron, this is always the unique matchup.
Absolutely.
These two cars are the most closely paired in the field of 16.
Yep, Matt Giagrande from Pleasant Garden, North Carolina. He's number 8 with a 412 with a 9/8 thou difference between him and the world champ on the Ohio Peterbilt side.
Well, and of course, the 2-time DI Mountain Motor Pro Stock Invitational champion in 23 and then again in 24. These two cars are separated by 8 1/1000ths of a second. We are talking about less than a blink of an eye, because a eye blink is 100th. It's less than an eye blink. Well, I'll tell you what, Montecalvo, better light, Montecalvo, and look at that. A 10th margin of victory for John Montecalvo. 410, 175 175 miles an hour for the Mustang. Giagrande was late on the tree, but Ron by only 4 thou.
Yep, that was a great drag race, really end to end. That was fun to watch. And this is why they came here, Bill. This is what they wanted to give us.
Boy, that was close. Looking at the flow instant replay, that was a tight finish line. So now number 7 qualifier. He needed qualifying round 2 to get in. The class sponsor on the door. This is Johnny Plashino. This guy, incredibly decorated, pedigree 2024 NHRA Mountain Motor Pro Stock champion. 2018 and 2019, he's a PDRA champion. In 20 and 22, Extreme Pro Stock champion. This guy has done it all behind the wheel of his Ross Environmental Services Ford. Johnny Plashino, number 7 qualifier, 412 with a 7.
Up against the number 10 qualifier, Dwayne Rice from Grove City, Ohio, the DR Grading and Excavating Hot Rod. 2022 Camaro for you Chevy folks. It's got that last true Chevy wedge motor, oversized motor, run since 2004. So that's
well, not many racers can say that.
Nope.
Well, Johnny Plashino, big time starting line advantage. 0:15 on the tree, steps up 200ths better than his qualified time. 4:10, 175, and Dwayne Rice couldn't do anything with that.
Nope, he was just back there, 416 with a 3:071 on the tree, out there taking a nice Saturday drive, and he'll be elbow deep in the cooler here shortly.
Well, and I'm going to tell you something. Johnny Plashino, you realize that the weather nearly prevented qualifying round number 2.
He wouldn't have gotten in.
He wouldn't have made the program because he was at the bottom of the sheet, the bottom of the qualifying ladder, or the qualifying sheet. So Alan Drinkwater, Sanford, Florida, the flat out gaskets, AED Performance Mustang. 2025 PDRA Pro Stock World Champion. Alongside the man from North Carolina, two Southerners squaring off. Performance advantage goes to your guy, Ron Huntley.
Yep, Jeremy Huffman, who, when you look down, they don't have anything listed. He's #1 qualifier for Columbus, #1 qualifier at Columbus, but Jeremy may be relatively new to this class, the 2010 Cobalt. Get ready, he's qualified #6 with a 412. Again, all that space between their qualifying spots, but it was only 16 thou, and that can be made up at the start line in a heartbeat.
Well, keep your eyes on the yellow Cobalt. This is your Ford Chevy matchup. Oh my, and that's why you run the race. Problems for Huffman. It is Drinkwater 413, 174 miles an hour. Performance advantage went to the car in the Ohio Peterbilt lane, Ron, but it was a problem at the strike of the tire, and he aborted the run and is done here in round 1.
Yeah, at this time we need Sportsman. Edelbrock Sportsman delivered on time by TFC Transportation. Sportsman, we need you to the rear staging preparing at this time. Let's go Sportsman.
So an interesting matchup here, the 12.5. These two cars, number 12 qualifier, qualified at a 414. Number 5 qualifier, qualified at a 412. You're talking about 2 100ths of a second. But Corey Voss, Live Oak, Florida, the Voss Racing Engines 2016 Camaro. Again, Ron, 200ths of a second. You can pick that up in reaction time.
Yeah, reaction time in different places on the track sometimes. Depending on how you've set up the tuning for this round, you got Chris Powers out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania, the 2021 Camaro. Again, the Sonny's Automotive, the legendary Sonny Leonard, I believe late Sonny Leonard, 825 cubic inches of motor. And now they're looking under the car of Powers and maybe just getting them lined up a little better. You don't want to be out of the groove.
Well, you don't, but Voss sits there and the signal's given. We're good to go. Corey Voss and Chris Powers. This is going to be a starting line game. Better reaction time, odds-on favorite. You get off the starting line with the better light. I'm thinking, Ron, you're moving on into the round of 8 cars.
Yep, and that's why this is the driver's game right here in the Mountain Motor Pro Stock.
Well, and there you go. It is a performance advantage for Voss. 018 light, 413.6, 174 miles an hour. Powers 046 and a 41 thou stripe and margin of victory. And what that means, Corey crossed the starting line first. Corey got the margin of victory. And I'm going to tell you what, Corey Voss was hanging the front end of that car and it sashayed for a bit. And it was still not able to be overcome, as it is Voss moving on into the round of 8 cars.
Next up, you got Ohio Peterbilt side. Jerry Tucker, here is your #1 qualifier. Yesterday in our first qualifying session, dropped the bomb on everybody. 405 with a 6 at 177 miles an hour. This is a pretty bad ride here on the Ohio Peterbilt side.
Attention in the pit area. Summit Racing Equipment Junior Dragster Shootout. We need you to the staging lanes, please. So Dennis Furcus, Franklin Park, Illinois. The Done Right Auto, 3-time Chicago Wise Guys champion, and now finds himself behind the wheel of a Mountain Motor Pro Stock. Qualified number 16. This is your David Goliath matchup. These two cars are separated by over a 1/10 of a second. In non-drag racing speak, that is an eternity.
That is forever, kids.
That's forever. A 1/10 of a second in Mountain Motor. Well, you can read a whole book in that amount of time.
And he knew he had to get after it, Bill. Dennis Furcus said, I need everything I got, and there it was. Yep. He runs a 418 and 172. Jerry Tucker going to go to round number 2, 408, 177 miles an hour.
Well, and I'll tell you what, that car tuned by Frank Gugliotta, that thing, He's going to be tough to beat here tonight. Boy, on the Flow instant replay, that was never in question.
Nope.
Cradle to grave win. So now it's Mike Coughlin from Dublin, Ohio, the Green Genie CDL Academy Cobalt. Over in the Summit Lane, of course, he is driving Camry Caruso's car, who is, they are expecting a child. So Camry, if you're watching at home, we wish you all the best. If it's a boy, William is a great name. Mike Coughlin behind the wheel, qualified number 15 with a 4:14.6. And he is going to have his hands full with the only other 4.0 Mountain Motor Pro Stock.
Yep, Jason Grima from Agnes Banks, New South Wales, I should say. Liberty Gears, Vice President Engineering 2019 Camaro. He was 4:09 with a 1 in the second qualifier. So Grima getting ready to move up in the Ohio Peterbilt side for the Australian. And here comes Coughlin. Got work to do over there on the Summit side.
He's got a lot of work to do, Ron Huntley. Oh my, it's a win! Neither car wanted to go straight. They both went left. I'm not sure that Jason Grima did or did not cross the center line, but it doesn't matter. He got beat. Mike Coughlin and the Green Genie team going, oh, Nelly. Mikey, we would really like you to, and we got to watch this on instant replay. And immediately Grima got way out of the groove. He did not cross the center line, but Mike Coughlin loves running along that wall.
It doesn't seem to bother him. He's just making sure it's straight every time he goes down.
Well, he's just using the wall apparently as a guide. But it is a win for the Green Genie team. And Camry Caruso sitting at home, if that didn't put her into labor, I don't know what might. But she's probably going to text Mike and say, Mike, really, off the wall, please. Brad Waddle, number 3 qualifier, the Solomon, Kansas. Ford Hemi, 828 cubic inch power plant. And Lenny Lotting from Myersdale, Pennsylvania, the 2025 NHRA Factory X World Champion. And this guy has got a whole lot left. He qualified 14, Ron, at 4:14. Performance advantage goes across the way, but I'm not sure I'm buying it.
Yeah, Lottig, I'm sure that crew is, again, getting that hot rod dialed in for round number 1. As leaps and bounds each round gotten quicker.
Well, I'll tell you what, Waddle, 409, 175 miles an hour. He's run a 410, a 409, and a 409. That's a bracket car for Brad Waddle. He is in the Elite 8.
And meanwhile, Lenny Lottig, 415, but you saw the car dance out to the right a little bit at the hit. He had to bring it back. Probably had a little more ET in it, but that little dance there right past the 60-foot clock cost him.
And for those of you watching at home on Flow Sports, we welcome you to the 49th running of the Cornwell Tools Night Under Fire. It is wonderful. Thank you for allowing us to be a guest in your living room. We are enjoying this incredible coverage by Flow Sports, and I am loving this instant replay camera and race control. They have got great coverage all the way down the racetrack. Great job to Flow, and welcome to America's racetrack.
Now you got John DeFlorian Jr. here. Arnold, Missouri, the home base for the Ohio Peterbilt Lane. Total Seal Graver Concrete helping him out. He was their number 4 qualifier at 410 with a 3. He's up against Jesse Alexandria, West Bend, Wisconsin. The ITI trailers and track bodies. Ross Environmental 2026 Camaro on the Summit side. number 13 to number 4. And DeFlorian got him at the start line, got him at the finish line. That was a end-to-end win light for DeFlorian. 003 reaction time. Absolutely crushed it at the tree and left no chance for Jason Alexandria. So we are going to go, and again, we have called all of our Edelbrock Super Series Elite and Junior Dragster Shootout, brought to you by Summit. We have called all of those classes to the lanes. We need all of our round 2.
Gentlemen, the ladder is set for the round of 8 cars. Tucker runs Montecalvo. On the left side, DeFlorian runs Voss. And on the right side of the ladder, Coughlin runs Plashino, and Waddle runs Drinkwater. So lane choice will be on the left side, Jerry Tucker. We'll have lane choice over John Montecalvo.
They took that away from you too quickly.
Well, you know, I was taking it. I was enjoying the ladder. God giveth and God taketh away. So that being said, folks, we are going to do some quick track prep. It is 4:25. The autograph session is going to begin at 4:30 and go from 4:30 to 5:15. So again, the Meet the Stars autograph session from 4:30 to 5:15.
John Montecalvo, you were half of the pair of the round, in my opinion. You were better from the let-go all the way down to the finish line and got yourself a win here in E1. 0.010 of a second separated you guys at the stripe.
You know, it was a tough run all the way down. I saw Matt. It wasn't like I didn't see him. He was right there all the while. But we're just having fun. I mean, what a great event this is. And nobody does it better than the Beta family. I mean, they're in the 3rd generation, and it's incredible what they've accomplished at this racetrack.
Absolutely. And how cool is it to have this class featured at Night Under Fire with a big purse on top of that?
It's phenomenal. It really is. I mean, the visibility alone is worth it. Never mind the purse. I mean, we've got $100,000 here to race for. So it's not chump change. You know, we're racing for a serious deal here. It's just we're overjoyed as a class just to be here, you know, and at this historic facility. I heard some figure today that this is like the 21st time I've been here. It's incredible.
That is incredible. Well, I am really enjoying this class, really enjoying getting to know you guys and educating myself on this class, and I look forward to seeing you in E2.
Yeah, we need to get you in a clutch car.
Yeah, let's do that, somebody. Thank you.
Okay.
The yellow 3rd generation Chevy Camaro, Scotty Campbell, the Pro Graphic Ink ride, dialed in at a 6:26 on the Ohio Peterbilt side of the racetrack.
And Ron Huntley, autograph session going to start at 4:30. Our autograph session, that is going to be shortened a little bit. It'll go from 4:30 to 5:15. 4:30 to 5:15 because we got to get the cars loaded for a 6 o'clock start. So 4:30 autograph session will go to 5:15.
C.J. Yeager, the 4-door Oldsmobile Omega, 1976 version of that hot rod. C.J. has been absolutely brutal behind the wheel of this, but he's only 4th thou ahead of Scotty Campbell at the start line, but that doesn't matter. 11 dead on with a 7. Scotty, 15 dead on with a 4. Scott Campbell's 19th thou away from perfect on that pass total, and is a thou behind at the finish line, giving the win to C.J. Yeager. Nick Moss and Mike Willie. Boy, it looks like you got to be 00 off the bottom to be any good in this class this round. 8 total for Nick Moss. 004, 627 with a 4 on the 627 dial. And my goodness, just cruelty out there. Mike Willie, 45 up front, that's what cost him. He was early, late, and still behind. Ron Smith, the straight axle Mulch King, 65 Chevy 2 times, 677 dial in for the Mulch King, coming up against Jason Fleener. Port Clinton, Ohio, 575 on the Winder. .003 to an 11 and a problem right off the line, and he clicks it off for Fleener. Oh, look at Ron Smith, didn't even see him. Ron Smith just went dead zero, 003, 3 total, and Jason Fleener is sitting with a wounded race car. Folks, 1,000th of a second away from it being a disaster for Ron Smith, but the Mulch King will continue on. And tough break for Fleener. Oh, we got ourselves a little foot race here. Tank Top is going to win. Not sure what went wrong there. Usually Team Fleener's got their stuff together pretty good. But again, he immediately shut the car off and backed it up. And we will get him, I don't know, let's see. Yep, drivable.
Alan Drinkwater, you got yourself a round 1 win after kind of a struggle this weekend to get in the field, but it seems like you got it together now and you're ready to go some rounds.
Yeah, I think so. We did okay in testing, and unfortunately we missed at Q1. But I think we're headed in the right path. We definitely needed that first round monkey off our back. Just appreciate everything. Tony Gillick, Billy Wagner, Preston, I know you're at home, so we'll try to clean this thing up this weekend.
I think it's safe to say that Pro Stock Jesus is in the game and ready to take a W.
Yeah, we're going to try. We're due for one.
Thank you.
Helping out that little S10 pickup truck on the Ohio Peterbilt side. John Lowry. Send It Transportation, Fleeter Transmission, CJW, Wire Design, Badman, and Muffleheads Brewery, all getting that beautiful Malibu down the racetrack. Our 2025 R&R Auto Body Paint My Ride winner. Looking sharp on the Summit side up against Cerruti's S10. Both racers got the pre-stage beams on. Cerruti in, set, and ready. Here comes John. It's been murderer's row at the starting line. John Lowry, 586 of the 4. His margin of victory, folks, at the finish line, 8 10,000ths of a second. I implore you, take a second of time, cut it up into 10,000 pieces, and that's how much John Lowry won that round by. Cerruti had to break out to be that close, but the margins are just stunning sometimes. We now go into the Super Pro side of things. Kurt Voltman, 474 dialing, getting ready to go heads up with Justin Hardy. Kurt is on the Summit side. Justin Hardy on the Ohio Peterbilt side. An Ohio versus Michigan battle in dragsters. Where will we see this later? Justin Hardy in charge. Justin Hardy is your winner. 007, dead on his dial-in with a 7 on the 474. Folks, that's 14 total. Kurt Voltman's reaction time was 014. that is not going to bode well for you. Next up, that is Bobby Gill in the 56 Chevrolet. Gill, who acquired this, Kevin Burns, thank you for the word. Jerry Fricke had owned the 56 Chevy. He passed away recently. Bobby acquired the car. 566 dial and neat hot rod, man. Up against the 482 of Brandon Bennett in the dragster. So Gill and Bennett. Advantage 56 Chevrolet win light. 56 Chevrolet. Brandon Bennett on his dial with a 2 was still 18 thou behind. Bobby Gill will be your winner. 18 and 1 over the 566 dialing, 567 on the 66. Bobby Gill going to the semifinals and to the show round. Carl Kyle the second. Carl Kyle the second, the Grand Performance Spleeter Transmissions, TFC Transportation. Dragster dialed 505 on the Summit side of the racetrack, coming up against Brittany DeMont. Brittany on the Ohio Peterbilt side. BMD Custom Designs, 2008 worthy, the Fire Racing sponsored machine. And to the start line, both in the pre-stage beam. Brittany puts the stage light on. Here comes Carl. There's just 2,000 separating them at the starting line. Advantage Kyle Winlight, Brittany DeMont. Kyle got down there and got behind. 013 reaction time. 474 with the 5 and the 474 dial. And Brittany DeMont goes to the round of 4 on the Super Pro side of the Edelbrock Super Series Elite Runoff. Chris Goebel, Fort Clinton, Ohio, the home base for Chris. 426 dial in for Goebel. 464 dial in for Maria Sill. Montville, Ohio, the Sill's Garage machine. I think I see somebody down there with a funnel cake. That's a whole lot of funnel cake on that plate. Double 0-1 to not a 0-0-1. Advantage, Maria Sill. Win light, Maria Sill. 465 with the 4 and the 464, 0-0-1, a thou for perfect on reaction time. Maria Sill gets the win. Chris Goebel will have to put his hot rod away for the night. Here comes Zach Gill as we start round number 2 of Wiseco Cycletech Superbike here in the Edelbrock Super Series Elite. Gill on the Ohio Peterbilt side. The all-black ride up against the black and green machine of Tom McGowan dialed 849. And the youngster on the Ohio Peterbilt side turns it red. Tom McGowan is your winner, 850 with a 1 on the 849. Matt Short, Brunswick, Ohio. Gorgeous bike, TFC Transportation Safety Auto Class. Hot rod on the out of Brunswick, Ohio, again on the Ohio Peterbilt side. Going to be chasing the Kermit colored hot rod of Jason Durnat. Romulus, Michigan, the home base. Fisher Body Shop, KD Racing, Hard Times, Parts and Service, and Schnitz Racing. Getting him down the racetrack. Pretty sizable head start for the motorcycle class here, 899 to a 783. They're separated by 4 thousandths. The two-time defending champ, Short, gets down to the finish line and will get the win light. 785 on the 783. Matt Short is your winner. Jason Durnack, 300ths over the dial in, will not get it done, and we'll have to put that little hot rod away. Brian Joyce, Hartville, Ohio, the home base for Brian. 872 dial in, Ohio Peterbilt side of the racetrack against Jason Keller's 856 out of Curtis. Little work going on over on the side. It looks like Jason Keller had lost fire. Now he's got to make sure it's in the right gear. Brian Joyce waiting patiently. I say patiently, I don't know. It's not like I'm sitting on the bike with him. And on the double red light, the win light will go to Jason Keller. 6 thou wrong side for Keller. 21 thou red for Brian Joyce. Keller, 859 on the 856 as Brian Joyce will have to put his hot rod away for the night. Kevin Adams, 850 dial in for Adams, Summit side of the racetrack. He's in the extended swing arm hot rod. He is up against Jeremy Hicks. Adams, Goodwin Racing, dial in 825. Motorcycle racers are by general pretty tight bunch. You'll see them, especially if they get in the late rounds of a big race or like the Halloween Classic, like the they will definitely be hanging out together. And look at that, all Jeremy Hicks at the start line. He backs into an 836 as Adams is 2/10 slow. That will do it for Wise Coast Cyclotech Superbike. We now get ready to go into round 2. Edelbrock Super Series Elite Sportsman. Edelbrock Sportsman delivered on time by TFC Transportation. Here we go with Bob Stevens. 1984 S10 Blazer, dialed 1243. 1229 dial in for Marlon House. 2001 Trans Am. He is based out of Livonia, Michigan. They head to the top end. Good side-by-side race. Double breakout win light. Marlon House moves to the semifinals on the sportsman side. Double breakout win light, 21 thou under to 23 thou under for Bob Stevens. Next up, the Nova of John McEwen, Bloomdale, Ohio, 1219 dial in for John. On the Ohio Peterbilt side, 1495 for the other John, John Septerick. Pick your favorite John. Homestead Township, Ohio, in the Mustang. Summit side, Ford versus Chevrolet, John versus John. And as they head towards the top end, Septerick trying to hold off McEwen. John has a pretty good starting line advantage. I'm just not telling you which one. The one that had the starting line advantage did not win. John Septerick needed to have a whole lot more brake pedal at the finish line, and that cost him. Win light will go to John McEwen in the Nova. Keeps on trucking. Cody Balcom, Maybe, Michigan, the 87 Caprice. Dialed 1172 up against Corey Harder's 1305. And to the win light is going to go to Cody Balcom. Harder had the better light, but goes too quick. So Balcom will be your winner. And this would be a final round here at any time. These two are two of the best here at Summit Motorsports Park. Jeff Pishner, 1168, the dial, and the car he calls the Red Bomb, the Disco Nova, brought to you by Pishner Plumbing. Up against the Nick Hastings piloted Mustang, the four-eyed ride out of Shelby, Kellerman Collision and Restoration. .002 and .006. Two of the best at it, going at it to the finish line. Finish line comes up, and the win light will go to Jeff Pishner on the double breakout. Both guys, man, making a decision at the finish line. 12th now under for Pishner, 17th now under for Nick Hastings. Jeff Pishner is your winner. We now go to Summit Racing Equipment Junior Dragster Shootout round number 2. Parker Hughes coming up on the Summit side of the racetrack. Parker in the all-black ride, dialed in an 8 flat to a 798 for Brandon DuPont. Brandon DuPont and Parker Hughes in, set, and ready. Our advanced junior dragster win there will go to Parker Hughes. Brandon DuPont, last year's champ, turns it red. Got a little excited. 801 on the 8 flat for Parker Hughes. And that puts Parker not only in the finals, but puts Parker in the show. So who's Parker going to run in the final in the show? Gabe Winowski. That car is for sale. And if you're looking to get a youngster into it, these things are very adjustable and adaptable. Winowski dialed 796 out of Medina, Ohio to 810 for Keegan Beverly out of Willard in the Schaefer Oil Gearhead Coffee sponsored Ohio Peterbilt ride. .004 to an 18. These two guys are on it. They hit the finish line, and it's going to be Keegan Beverly, 812 on the 810. Gets the win like Gabe probably let him go, but really did not have a whole lot of room to work with. Great driving job by Keegan Beverly. Next up, we go to our intermediate class. This semifinals, again, the winners will go to the show and get to run out in front of it again. You can see the traffic coming around, so they'll get to run in front of the full crowd, which is always cool. Ethan Russell out of Adrian, Michigan, down 890 on the Ohio Peterbilt side. He's up against Morgan Pickens on the Summit side, 896 in the Pickens Metalworks ride. Oh, and a 016 red light for Morgan. Ethan Russell moves on through 888 on the 890, 72 miles an hour. Just a tad shy of 73. Brandon Schultze coming up next in the yellow machine. 9:05 dial-in out of Woodville, Ohio. He's getting ready to move up Summit side against Logan Simpkins, Pataskala, Ohio. 2024 half-scale ride dialed in at 897. Summit side out and running. Brandon Schultze trying to stay ahead of Logan Simpkins, and he gets the job done. 9:07 to 3. Simpkins got within 16 thou, but he had to break out to make it happen. Brandon Schultze moves on. We now go into our beginners. First up, Elena Russell. Adrian, Michigan down 1390 up against Caden Voltman, 1209. Elena, and one of the younger of our kids here in the novice class, but she's double tough in that little pink car up against Caden Voltman's 1209. Dad Kurt gets a good look at it, says, okay kid, you know what to do. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Somebody was a 006 and somebody was not. Finish line comes up, Elena Russell. Your winner, 006 up front, 1395 on the 1390. Caden Voltman got down there and put the stop pedal on. It was to no avail. Caden, a very rare miss at the starting line for him. And Elena Russell will be in the final of our Summit Racing Equipment Junior Dragster Shootout on the novice side. Bentley Bear and Sawyer Simpkins, your next pair. Simpkins coming up on the Isle Peterbilt side dial at 1196. Basil Race Fuels sponsored car dressed in black up against the University Hospitals ride of Bentley Bear. Here they go, 12:05 for Bear, 11:96 for Simpkins, both in and set. And 007 red for Bentley Bear, 007 to the good for Simpkins, which was the second best light in our novice class for that round. 12:08 on the 11:96 Bentley Bear, man, 7th thou red. 12:06 with a 6 on a 12:05, bows out. And, well, that's going to do it for a bit, I do believe, right, Bill?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have about a 30-minute intermission. We are right back where we should have been. So we are going to take about a 30-minute intermission. We're going to go into pre-race at 5:30, and show round number 1 starts at 6 o'clock. We have moved it up an hour. So once again, the show is going to start at 6. We moved up the program this morning 1 hour. It is, for all practical purposes, 5 o'clock right now. We will do an abbreviated pre-race at 5:30, and be in your seats and ready to go, because we are going to hit the track with nitro at 6 p.m. sharp. So that is an hour and a few minutes from now. So we're going to put a little music on, grab yourself a bite to eat or drink, enjoy the last 15 minutes of the autograph session, and we are going to go live trackside at 5:30.
When you use Hot Shot's secret oil and fuel additives, you get decades worth of cutting-edge innovation. Innovation that saves you money and maximizes efficiency and performance. Hot Shot's secret started with a mission to solve one engine problem. Today, we have solutions for all kinds of common issues that impact your bottom line. From our world-class lab to your cars, trucks, and equipment, Hot Shot's secret is powered by science.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech